Everything good? Alright, we're back. Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare was released in January 2025, directed by Scott Chambers, starring Martin Portlock and Megan Placido. And yeah, okay, so everybody who follows me and sees my posts on YouTube knows it has been a good, hectic couple of weeks. We had torrential downpour here in Kentucky a couple weeks ago, and my basement, the entire basement, was 6 inches underwater. I thought, okay, get the water out, we'll be able to set back up in a couple days. I take these off of the stands that they were propped up on. The particle board of the bottom completely disintegrated, so I had to go through the drama of replacing the bottoms of those. So finally, after almost a month, I'm finally able to get back to making YouTube content. So let's start with the first 2025 movie I saw this year. I actually have not hated any entry so far in this, Poonaverse? Twisted Childhood Universe, whatever they're calling it now. And they got like 3 more of these already planned for later on this year. Bambi, which was actually supposed to come out last year. Pinocchio, which I'm actually really excited for that one because they got Robert Englund voicing Jiminy Cricket and Richard Brake as Geppetto, so that'll be interesting. And then they finally got the big mashup, the Poonaverse crossover. It's the Avengers of this universe, I guess. So I was actually really interested to see what they were gonna do with the Peter Pan lore, because of all the classic stories that are now public domain. I felt like Peter Pan was the most ripe for a horror adaptation because, let's face it, Peter Pan is kind of horror already if you read the old fairy tale. So yeah, let's go ahead and start this review off with the good. And honestly, I really enjoyed what they did for the most part in this movie. If you see a height difference, I adjusted my chair. I forgot I put it down when I was dealing with these, but regardless. I really enjoyed, for the most part, what they were able to do with this movie. First of all, I really enjoyed Martin Portlock's portrayal of Peter Pan in this movie. He really had that sinister vibe about him. Well, even in the scenes where he's trying to be more friendly and inviting with the children, it's very dark undertones with what he does here. I highly enjoyed what he was able to do. Then we have Megan Placido as Wendy Darling, and I really enjoyed her here as well. She's the main character we're following. As with most Peter Pan stories, Wendy Darling is the main protagonist. I really enjoyed what they did with her here. I thought that she had a good arc. I thought that she had a really interesting character. And I'm really interested to see where they go with her character in the future of this franchise, because this is going to be a big franchise now. Like it or not, we're in for the long haul now. I really enjoyed her. Great performance, and I thought that she had some really great scenes with Peter, especially in the third act. Really great. Aside from the acting, you get some really good kills here. The first Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, the biggest issue I had with that movie was the kills. It was all CGI gore, CGI blood. None of it was real. None of it looked real. None of it was practical. I just couldn't get behind the kills in that movie. Where Blood and Honey 2 had a mix of CGI kills and practical effects. This one, I feel mostly, at least 98% of it, is practical effects. And I really enjoyed the practical effects that they used in this movie. You got some really gnarly, nasty kills in this movie. There's one specifically in the third act. It's just, disgusting. And I loved it because I'm a gorehound. yeah, I love the gore here. I love the kills. And some of the visuals of this movie got some of those classic Peter Pan-esque visuals with a dark twist. You get scenes where he's talking to his shadow, or you just see his shadow. Really, iconic Peter Pan visuals, but like I said, with a dark twist. And I really enjoyed that for the most part. The score here is pretty good. I like the score, and I really liked the design of Peter Pan's lair. It's not Neverland. We never actually see Neverland in this movie. It's supposed to be revealed in a future movie, apparently, in this franchise. But yeah, I really like the design of Peter's lair. It's very disgusting and dark and terrifying, really. Yeah, I really like that. That's all for the good, onto the bad. And unfortunately, there's still a lot that needs to be improved here. Just like with the two Winnie the Pooh movies, even I really enjoyed Blood and Honey Part 2. And I didn't even hate Blood and Honey Part 1 as much as most people did. But just like with Blood and Honey Part 2, there's still a lot that needs to be improved. First of all, drop the slasher stuff. Stop taking it so damn seriously and have fun with it. Hell, you don't even have to drop the slasher stuff. Just have a little more fun here with these movies. I mean, that's not a bad thing, I guess. If it works for them, it works for them. Fine. But also, just the way I enjoyed Martin Portlock as Peter Pan. Don't get me wrong. But the way that they portray Peter Pan, I have an issue with the level of homage that they have. This character is very clearly inspired by the Grabber from the Black Phone, all the way down to the fact that he wears a mask around the children. He acts like a clown to lure children in. It's leveling on, it's bordering on levels of homage to where it's kind of just almost a copycat. And I hate saying that because, like I said, I really did enjoy the performance here. But it's the same issue I had with Blood and Honey Part 2, where Pooh was clearly just a Michael Myers copycat. Piglet was clearly just a Leatherface copycat. Owl was clearly just a Jigsaw / Pinhead copycat. Tigger had the worst of them all, where he was very, very clearly a Freddy Krueger copycat. So I feel like we should dial it down on the levels of copycatisms and make it more just a subtle homage. And again, I'm not the filmmakers here. If it works for them, it works for them. Clearly they're making money without my input, so don't listen to me. It's just what I think. And then the final thing here is really all the other characters outside of Wendy and Peter just feel like non-characters, in my opinion. I did not care what they were doing with Tinkerbell whatsoever. Captain Hook might as well have just not been in this movie, because he does nothing, he says nothing, he shows up for a collective 10 seconds of screen time and then leaves in the last 30 seconds to set up for a sequel. And yeah, did not care about any of the other characters. So that's about all for the bad. On to the final thoughts. I did enjoy this movie for what it was. It was not as good as Blood and Honey Part 2, but it's better than Blood and Honey Part 1. I really enjoyed it. I'm going to buy it on Blu-ray, and I'm going to be there for the rest of these movies this year. So, you guys just take my money now. I'll be there regardless. So, Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare was a good enough slasher film. I had enough fun with it to say I will buy it, and I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. So that was my thoughts on Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. What did you think about this movie? Let me know down in the comments what you thought about it if you've seen it. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.